Morning students, today we are starting one new topic, Wheatstone bridge. Although I have introduced this concept in solving numerical on the combination of capacitance, capacitor and resistances. Now what is it? I will discuss it in detail. As it consists of four resistances. Four resistances we are taking, and this is used to find unknown resistance. That means if these four resistances have been given, so out of which if one is unknown, then by using this principle we can find that unknown resistance in terms of other three. Let me take, if this resistance is P, this is Q, this is R and this is S. If S is unknown, then in that particular case it can be found in terms of P, Q, R. Let me see what is this principle and how we can use it. And it consisting of four resistances P, Q, R, S. These are connected to form a bridge like this. And this bridge is balanced. Here we also require, for this to be balanced, for this to get complete circuit, here between these two terminals we connect a galvanometer with one-way key. This is key. Now, no circuit will be complete without the introduction of battery, a cell. So here one cell will also be connected. Let this be K1, this be K2, any name you can give, and here this cell having EMF E. So now here, if this bridge is said to be balanced, that means on closing key, first this key K1 and then key K2, then what happened that for these four values of the resistor of this Wheatstone bridge are said to be balanced, that on closing these two keys, if galvanometer shows no deflection, then bridge is said to be balanced. It means if P upon Q is equal to R upon S, this is only possible under one condition, when current through galvanometer is 0. That means this is a galvanometer when no current is flowing through the galvanometer. See, I have taken the picture of battery eliminator. This is battery eliminator. This is a knob. Here you can show its value is ranging from 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Minimum 2 to maximum 12. Now this knob has to be rotated to set it for particular value. Basically this battery eliminator, it converts AC into DC, as well as our AC voltage is 220 volt. So converting it into DC. That is maximum value here we are taking 12 volt. This is on off knob. Now in here, this is negative terminal of the battery and this is positive terminal of the battery. So here when we have to do the connection, so negative terminal of the battery will be connected here. When you will unscrew this black terminal, and here when positive terminal we have to connect, then we will unscrew this red terminal and we will tie a connecting wire. This is one-way key. This is a key. This is a central terminal. This central terminal, this is a plug key, you can say. This plug key, when it will be introduced, when this key is connected in the circuit, one wire connected to this terminal, another wire is connected to this terminal, and putting this plug inside. So in that particular case, current will start flowing in the circuit when the circuit is connected to battery. You can see one more figure. You can see here, this is your, you can see it is the same one-way key. Here this is unplugged. When this plug will be introduced, this is a plug. When this is plugged here, then it will be as in a closed circuit. Now see, this is galvanometer. Again here are two terminals, black terminal negative, red terminal positive. See here, this G stand for galvanometer. You can see this 0, that means the reference point, and to the right of it there are 30 divisions. To the left of it there again, this is not 30, there are 50 divisions, 50 division on each side. So when it will be connected in the circuit and galvanometer shows deflection, Basically, galvanometer is a component which can measure even the smallest deflection of current. If very small current will be flowing, it will deflect slightly. Large current will be flowing, it will deflect more. Deflection can be on the left side or as well as on the right side. But this galvanometer cannot be used to measure current. For measuring current, we require ammeter. So I have introduced this galvanometer because here when we are connecting, when I am saying that when it is connected in the circuit and no current is flowing through galvanometer, so here you can see this needle. This needle which is showing here, this will be remaining at 0. It will not deflect. Then only we can say galvanometer will not show any deflection. So I have shown you the component cell, battery. This is E, key. Here we have connected key. This is galvanometer we have connected. Now what will happen as when we will close key K1 and K2. So current will start flowing in the circuit. Now at terminal A and this is terminal B. So let me suppose that I is the current flowing through the battery and at A junction it will pass through resistance P as well as R. So let me take I1 is a current flowing through P resistance and remaining current, that is I minus I1, will flow through R resistance. Now again, as current I1 is going to this point, let it be, you can take C and this point as D. As both the keys are connected, it is in the closed circuit. So again at C there are two paths, same current will not flow. Here what will happen, basically one part of this current will flow through it. Here actually we have taken galvanometer will not show any deflection, but to prove it we have to show that Ig will not exist. So in order to prove that, we have taken let one part of the current will flow through this branch and remaining current will flow through this branch, that it will be I1 minus Ig through Q resistance. Now again at junction D, I minus I1 current is flowing across this, Ig is coming across this branch. So across resistance R, now these current will be combining and current flowing through these will be, this S resistance will be I minus I1 plus Ig. So now this current is passing through S. Further these two currents will combine at point B. So you can see I1 and this is minus I1, this will cancel out, minus Ig and plus Ig, this will cancel out. So from terminal B, I current will emerge out. So total current flowing in the circuit is I. Now to prove this condition, we have divided current. So now what should be the next step? Here we will take two loops. As here we have unknown currents I1, Ig and I. So we will frame equation on the basis. So what we will do, we will apply Kirchhoff's second law, Kirchhoff's loop law. So here first of all we will consider loop in the clockwise direction for A, C, D, B. We can take it in the opposite direction also. It's your choice. We can go as per the clockwise or anti-clockwise direction. So now for its proof, in loop A, C, D, A, as I1 current is flowing through P, so I1 into P, plus Ig current is flowing through galvanometer. Then now see in the figure, as when you are coming across this, so here now direction of current is opposite to that of the direction of moving in the loop. Here current is moving along AD, but loop direction, the direction of loop which we have taken, this is from D to A. So here direction of current will get reversed. So potential drop across R resistance will be minus I minus R1 into minus I minus I1 into R. So see here, minus I minus I1 into R. So we can write it as I1P plus G Ig equal to I minus I1, this is I minus I1 into R. Similarly, we will take second loop. So figure, see in the figure, as per the figure, now what should be the direction of second loop? We can take loop in this direction, that is anti-clockwise or clockwise, whatever you want to take. I am taking in this direction. So it is in the direction C, D, B, C. So now in loop C, D, B, C. So as per this loop, again we will find out potential drop across the resistances. So see here Ig into G plus I minus I1 plus Ig into S minus I1 minus Ig into Q equal to 0. This is the loop. So see here the step. Ig into G plus I minus I1 plus Ig into S minus Y, because here our loop direction and direction of current were opposite. So now rearrange it. We are getting that it will be Ig G plus I minus I1 plus Ig into S. This is equal to I1 minus Ig into Q. So these are two equations. Now basically what is the concept here, as we will adjust the value of R. This value of R is so adjusted, it means the value of resistances. We have connected P, Q, R, S. We have to adjust the value of resistances in such a manner so that no current is flowing through the galvanometer. So current through the galvanometer is 0. Basically we can prove Wheatstone bridge under this condition only. So now as Ig is equal to 0, what does it mean? That no current will flow through CD branch. Why it happened? Because current can flow when the two terminals are at difference of potential. But if no current is flowing through it, what does it mean? That means C and D are at the same potential. You will take that C and D having potential Vc equal to Vd, that is equal to V. Both having the same potential. So if there will be no difference of potential, what will happen? Now no current will flowing through it, neither from C to D nor from D to C. So this I1 current will automatically flow through this resistance Q. Similarly this I minus I1 will also flow through resistance S. So basically this condition we have to remember, that when no current will flow, so in that particular case only the bridge will be said to be balanced. So now using this condition, what we will do here, so when you will take this condition, substitute Ig equal to 0 in equation 1 and 2. So see equation 1, if you will take Ig to be 0, you will get I1P equal to I minus I1 into R. Similarly, when Ig is taken to be 0 in this equation, so these two terms will be giving you 0. What will be left? Here you will get that I1 into Q equal to I minus I1 into S. So now dividing equation, let this be 3 and this is be 4. So divide equation 3 and 4, what we are getting, that P upon Q is equal to R upon S. Either we can also write it as P upon R equal to Q upon S. So basically when you have to prove Wheatstone bridge principle, one of the method I have explained, or in terms of potential also by another method also you can prove it. Basic condition now we have to remember while applying it for anywhere, we have to learn this condition. When no current will flowing through the central branch, then only the ratio of resistances will be equal. So basically this Wheatstone bridge principle, this is taken as, this is called null method. Why it is called null method? As I have shown you in the galvanometer, when the pointer is exactly at the 0, there is no deflection in the galvanometer. So null deflection means no deflection. So that's why this method is also called as null method. This method remains unaffected by the internal resistance of this source as well as resistance of the galvanometer. There is no effect. So it will not be affected. And one of the important condition is when all the four resistances are almost same, then it will become more sensitive. Very important point, that Wheatstone bridge principle that can be used to measure only moderate level of resistance. It cannot be used to measure very high or very low resistances. So this is Wheatstone bridge principle. So let me take one or two numericals to understand its concept, and after that we will use it as an application. Now here in the figure, 6-volt battery is connected to these combination of resistances. Find the magnitude of resistance X in this circuit shown here when no current is flowing through 5 ohm resistance. When no current is flowing through 5 ohm resistance. Basically here now you have to understand that if no current is flowing through this resistance, it means this upon this, X upon 18 will be equal to 2 upon 6, because now we will assume the condition of balanced Wheatstone bridge. So here what we will do, so now as per the figure, this was X, this was 18, this was 2 ohm, and this is 6 ohm. So central resistance is 5 ohm, and the battery that is connected here is of given to be 6 volt. So basically you have to calculate X. No need of battery here. X upon 18 will be equal to 2 upon 6, as no current is flowing through this. So now what we are getting here, when you will solve, X will come out to be 6 ohm. So this is quite simple, but one condition that is given, so you will use this condition directly in this numerical. Now coming to next numerical, galvanometer in each of these given two circuits does not show any deflection. This condition is given here. Find the ratio of resistors R1 and R2 used in these two circuits. See here, this figure is given. Here 4 ohm R1 unknown resistance, 6 ohm 9 ohm resistance connected to a battery, and galvanometer resistance is also given. Here second figure is given. Here now battery and galvanometer are interchanged, and their resistances are 6 ohm, 12 ohm, this is R2 and this is 8 along the same battery. Now you have to basically find the ratio of resistance R1 and R2. So now see, again you will apply the condition of Wheatstone bridge of P by Q equal to R upon S, because it is already given that galvanometer is showing no deflection. So now as per this figure, apply the condition. This is 4 upon R1 equal to 6 upon 9. So from here when we will cross multiplying, then 6 R1 equal to 4 into 9. So R1 will be equal to 4 into 9 upon 6. So when you will just solve it, it will come out to be your 6 ohm. Now coming to as per this figure, again here 6 upon 12 equal to R2 upon 8. Again cross multiplying and solving. This is 12 R2 equal to 6 into 8. So R2 will be, this is 48 by 12, it is 4 ohm. So now what you have to calculate ratio of R1 and R2. So R1 upon R2 is, this is 6 upon 4, this is 3 upon 2. So this will be the answer using the condition of Wheatstone bridge. So now let me take one numerical of using Wheatstone bridge. So let me understand it. Here we have to calculate equivalent resistance between terminals A and B, between these two terminals. So how to solve? We have to see as the resistance appearing to be same. So how to we will convert it into the Wheatstone bridge or something else, because simply if I am observing it, this is not a simple combination of series and parallel. So it's a complex circuit. So let me realize it into practical form. We will take one battery has been connected between this. So if we take the battery is connected, so A is at V potential, so this point, this will be at V potential, and this will also be at V potential. This will also be V potential because this combination is in parallel with it. So if we are taking this terminal to be P and this to be Q terminal, so you can see here that now if it is taken to be 0, this will be at 0 potential, this will be at 0, and this is also at 0 potential. So let me try to realize it in terms of Wheatstone bridge. So if we take terminal A, and terminal B. And let me take, this is point P and this is point Q. Any name you can give. Now resistance connected between, this is your, you can take it as A and P. You can see here between A and P, this resistance R is connected. So I am taking it so that I have considered it. Between A and P, this resistance R is connected. Now, second, between P and Q resistance R is again connected, right? Between P and Q. Then you can see here between B and P. If you take terminal B and this terminal P, what is the resistance connected? R. So again you will connect it in this form. This is again R. Now resistance connected between this A and Q terminal. Again one resistance is connected. Right? Now between B and Q, this resistance R. So you can see here 5 resistance, but here these are 6 resistance. So what is left? Resistance connected this one between A and B. So here this is a resistance connected between A and B, and this is basically just connected like this. So now as per this circuit, now what you have to see as this is the ratio of all the resistances are equal. This R upon R, R upon R, it means condition of balanced Wheatstone bridge will be satisfied. So no current will be flowing through PQR. So you can say no current will flow across PQ. No current will pass through PQ. So here what will be the combination? How can we redraw it? This is, you can say that if this is terminal P and this is resistance R, this is A terminal and this is terminal B. Now between A and B, this R resistance is connected, so you are taking this R resistance here. And between A and B, further up to point, taking point Q also. Now this is resistance R, this is resistance R. Now how simple this circuit is there. Now you can easily calculate the equivalent resistance. Very difficult was to analyze this. So we have to analyze that we have to mark the terminals. Either you can take it in terms of potential or simply take the terminals. I have marked the terminals. So as this all is at the same potential, 0, and this is all at the V potential. So now by using that way we have concluded that we have resistances connected in this manner, and this central one, this will not contribute because no current is flowing through it. So now what is the simplest method to solve it? These two are connected in series. These two are connected in series and this is in parallel with R. So I am taking its equivalent by short method, as these two have resistance 2R, R plus R, 1 by 2R. This is having resistance again 2R, 1 by 2R, and this is R. So now you can easily find its LCM, 1 plus 1 plus 2, 4 by 2R. So it is 2 by R. So R equivalent of the complex circuit comes out to be simple, that is R by 2. So this is how I have explained you to apply Wheatstone bridge to the complex circuits, although we have used it earlier also. See this numerical here. Now you have to again find potential difference between terminals P and Q. So here again see this, if we are just comparing it, this is having 7-8 resistance is connected, but now condition is clear as you see for this one circuit, and for the second here the ratio of 4R upon 4R1, this is again R upon R1. So it means here in 2 steps you can apply Wheatstone bridge. So here what you will see that these two resistance 4R and 4R will not contribute. Why? Because it is satisfying the condition, that is 4R upon 4R equal to R upon R. This is equal to 1. P upon Q equal to R upon S, condition is satisfied. So no current will flow through these two central resistances. So if I will remove this, so the circuit will be quite simple. Now you can see all the resistances we have connected. Now I guess easily you can solve it. This is 4R, 4R, R, 4R, 4R. So these two are connected in series. So their equivalent resistance will be 8R. And these two are connected in series. So their equivalent is 2R. These two, this is also 8R. So now again you can simplify it, that equivalent resistance comes out to be, as this is a parallel combination, 1 by 8R plus 1 by 2R plus 1 by 8R. Solve it. What we are getting, this is 6 by 8R. So ultimately R equivalent, it will be 4 by 3R. It means you can see from the figure that in the starting you have to analyze the statement carefully. Now rest all steps are quite simple. Now see this question. Here also we have to calculate. Here this figure has been given, as well as labeling of current is also given in the figure. Here 12 volt battery is connected to this combination of number of resistances, and here I1 current is flowing here and I2 current is flowing through here. Now what you have to find, again find the value of this I1 and I2. Also find relationship between potential at S and P. What is the relationship at this? So basically you can see here that as if we are taking that potential, if you are taking this circuit, see here 2 ohm, 2 ohm, this is 4 ohm, 4 ohm. If we will consider that these 2 points are at the same potential and the ratio 2 upon 2 equal to 4 upon 4, that means the condition of Wheatstone bridge, that is balanced Wheatstone bridge, is satisfied. Again here 2 ohm, 2 ohm, 4 ohm, 4 ohm. That means again the condition is satisfied. It means R and S will be at same potential. So it means from the figure it is clear that these two resistances will not contribute. It means these three will be connected in series and these three will also be connected in series. If you understand this particular point, there will be no problem. As see, point P and Q are at the same potential. Why? Because no current is flowing through this branch, as condition of Wheatstone bridge is satisfied. Similarly, R and S will be at the same potential. So again, no current will flow through the branch. So now P and Q having the same potential, R and S having the same potential. So when you are removing the resistance between PQ and RS, now the circuit will be like this. So now here current is flowing, for these three are in series, so current will flow. Now you can see current will flow from P to R only when potential at P is greater than potential at R. Similarly, potential at Q is greater than potential at S. And Vp equal to Vq and Vr equal to Vs. It means Vp equal to Vq, Vr equal to Vs. It means now you can say that potential of P can be greater than potential of S point. So one question was to establish relation between potential at P and S this way. Now to calculate the value of I1 and I2. So again for these three, this is 2 plus 2 plus 2. This is your one resistance, that will be 6 ohm resistance. Another is also 6 ohm resistance. So now here battery is 12 volt. So again these two, this is not 6, this will be 12. 4 plus 4 plus 4. And for the above wire, this was 2 plus 2 plus 2. So now these two are in parallel. So equivalent resistance between these two terminals A and B will be 1 by 6 plus 1 by 12. This will be 3 by 12. So R will be 4 ohm. Now current I1 through this branch in the upward and I2 in this one. So resistance equivalent we have calculated. What is the total current flowing? Apply Ohm's law, V upon R. Voltage is 12, total equivalent resistance is 4. So total current is 3 ampere. So now what will be the value of I1? I1 will be equal to V, because for these two resistance potential will be same. So V upon R1. For above loop. For above wire, this is resistance is 6 ohm. So it will be I1 will be 12 upon 6. It is 2 ampere. And what is the current through the second wire? This will be V upon R2. So it will be 12 upon 12. So it is 1 ampere. Either by this way or 3 minus 2 equal to 1. You can also do. So basically total current is 3 ampere and we have to calculate current through 6 ohm resistance or the above series wire or the other wire which having 3 resistance connected in series. So I1 and I2, that comes out to be 2 ampere and 1 ampere. So this is all for today. We have discussed Wheatstone bridge principle and correspondingly how to apply the concept of Wheatstone bridge. Now solve more numericals on this basis. Already you have done practice. Now you can come to some complex numericals also. Thank you.